The next moment I think they will do it is in May. They don't want to do it before the local elections, because the last thing the Scottish Labour Party need before some pretty difficult local elections is an alliance with David Cameron or an alliance with the Liberal Democrats who are in government with the Tories. So they have to wait. Conveniently, that is also the moment that Alex Salmond says that he will launch, or Scots will launch overall, the Yes campaign. Now there's a little hint of some of the problems to come. The Yes campaign. Already, he is presuming the question. Salmond wants it to be called the Yes campaign because, as Brian says, we know that people like to go along with positive statements, with agreeing, with saying yes, not with saying no. But there will be an argument instantly about the wording of that. Why is that a yes campaign rather than a no to the union campaign? And when the pro-unionist parties come together, as they will soon, they may well, I think Brian will know better than I, but I don't think they've resolved this yet, they may well argue that they're also the yes campaign, because they're the yes to the union campaign, and he's the yes to independence campaign. Given that the people who are in favour of the union believe the wording of the question could make 8% difference, believe you me, those battles, is it yes or is it no, is it this or is it that, are hugely, hugely significant. Now, what can the government, the UK government, now do? In a sense, we've already seen a kind of sense of what their strategy is. David Cameron picks a fight, but he does it very politely. And that is basically what you'll see for the next year. So always remind yourself of this, an English Tory public school boy launched the campaign to save the union. Lots of people would have said, absolutely lunatic, mad thing to do, shouldn't do it. But he did it with a very Cameroonian mix of enormous amounts of courtesy, lots of positivity and sunshine. But the combination that there was there was to force the negative questions onto the agenda, frankly, to shake the Scottish political establishment and media establishment to say, when are you going to start asking these questions? At the same time as being warm and generous and positive about the future. That is the combination I think you'll see. They know that it is Salmond's view, for all the reasons that Brian has set out, to play it long and to argue while it's playing long, to use Alex Salmond's phrase, that you're being offered, if you're a Scot, a pig in a poke. Because the UK government tells you, and the UK political parties tell you that they want some amendment to the devolution settlement, but they won't actually tell you what it is. So how do they not allow him to play it long? The answer is that they are planning, I believe, a series of what in Downing Street is called a series of explosions. They will try a series of moments, like the Cameron visit, to say, no, 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 we're forcing the issue. One of the possibilities is that if they can't after the consultation process is over, remember there's a UK government consultation process about the referendum and there's a separate Scottish government consultation process. One little explosion is to simply change the law in Westminster to give the Scottish Parliament what are called Section 30 powers. Effectively, that means that Westminster loans the power to have a referendum to Holyrood, but on the terms that are acceptable to the UK government. So if Salmond won't play, won't negotiate, simply say, well, right, we're doing it. Okay, you Scots say you want to do this, fine. You can have a power for a one-question referendum on these terms, and we will do it. And then say to Scots, there we are, you can have it, it's on there. You're really going to tolerate this guy won't do it? There are even some, I doubt this will ever happen, who would go down the route that Brian was talking about, which is say, no, Westminster will now organise a referendum on Scottish independence. Now, I think that's a vast step for them to take, and I suspect they won't. But my point is, they'll up the ante. They won't simply wait for Salmond to come to the negotiating table, because frankly, there's no incentive for him so to do. The other little explosive devices that might go off, I think, is to try and provoke debates on the economy, on defence, on the currency, on border control, the one that we often forget. Passports, anybody? Do people in Billericay want to be told that there won't anymore be the UK border agency around the Highlands Islands? It will in fact be a new Scottish force that you won't be in control over, but then they can walk over the border. It's not a bad thing to get a discussion going on. And what you'll find is that Westminster departments have already commissioned studies into what independence might mean. I just have a feeling they might leak out from time to time the next moment that someone wants to get a debate going.